Good morning. Today, Wednesday, July 29th. This is episode, man, you'd think I would know what episode. It is episode 114, The Cross and the Crucible. Thanks for being here, guys. Good morning. We've already got a super chat. Thank you. Who did that? It doesn't show me. Someone did that, and I want to thank you for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, great to be here. Great to have you guys here. It looks like actually all three streams are working for once. That's fantastic. Yep, here we are over here on D Live. Hello, D Live. Hello, Lar Bear. OKC Bear, you should be getting lemons, not giving them, but thank you, sir. Thank you. Taste in that tartness. Good morning, all. Good morning, Guy Bear. Yeah, great to have you guys here. And hello to everyone on Facebook. I cannot go over to Facebook. It's a long story, but I hear you guys. Thanks for being here. I took the day off yesterday. If you notice, that is touching. That means a lot that you noticed. If you did not notice, yeah, that's something I'll have to process later. Yeah, needed an office day tomorrow. It was pretty freaking epic. I think I slept for a long time. Right before we started, my computer crashed, so I'm just closing some browser windows because it makes everything that much faster. And in the meantime, this little guy is just having a wonderful day. He hopes you are too. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, right? Welcome to the apocalypse. Is it getting serious? Are you experienced in this apocalypse? Have you had your daily dose of vitriol? In Rhinebeck, I myself cast vitriol into the fire. It was what I called for us all. And vitriol is a strong word. If you guys don't know what it means, please Google vitriol and alchemy. And it's two different words. And you'll see that vitriol is actually an ancient is it anagram, where each letter represents something. And vitriol is literally the 7 steps of alchemy. So V is vista, to see. To see the calcination is to find a fault in yourself and decide you want to change. That is the first step of alchemy. And of course, alchemy is a spiral, so we can spiral up and gain wisdom, or we can spiral down and lose it so zealously. And this is what we choose every day. I've been choosing to not watch the cavalcade as much as I normally do. I've been told that the weather today is partly sunny, medium chance of rain, with an attack of giants happening at 12:30 p.m. and again at 9 p.m. during a piano live stream. And I just want to say that seeing Owen Benjamin go through this much fucking vitriol over little old me is pretty freaking epic. I say that because we all go through our vitriol and we're all doing our best to find truth. But to find out that Owen is willing to make Bertaria a Christian-only camp where no one is welcome, who does not accept the tenets of biblical, it's almost, I think that when you're going to use that, you sort of like go Southern Baptist, don't you? Where it's like, everyone's evil but me! Everyone's evil but me! And you enter into this fervid mode where the saliva starts to flow. And that saliva is truly the vitriol, isn't it? You think about crying. You think about tears. And what are tears, my friends, but salt? And what are salt but memories? So to cry is literally to have an alchemical transaction inside yourself to say, hey, I really want to let go of these memories now. I would like to process these memories and allow them to be released. And so we have this guffaw ceremony, this deep, deep ritual root where we search our body for all these memories and we say, I must let these go. I have to let these go. And that's really what we're doing. We're finding old memories, memories that were installed in us a long time ago, memories that told us how dirty and broken we were, memories that told us that we're going to have to cut your dick off and then you'll be moral. And we've fallen into these ideas, we've transpired, and now we've gotten it to where we're afraid of going in the woods. We're literally afraid of venturing in the forest with other people because we may not have enough self-governance to not fall into who knows what's going on there. But as we all are establishing our sovereignty, as we all are finding this land, some of us have decided that the only one that can come in here must be a Southern Baptist who believes in this shit and blah, 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 blah. And that is a camp that you will not see me at, friends. That is nothing sovereign about the idea that your cosmology must match Big Chief's cosmology before you may begin. That shows a real weakness in your cosmology. It shows a tendency to fear new information. It shows a deep, detesting spirit against mystery, against discovery, against new information, and against growth. And this is why vitriol has such a strong tinge to it. It has such a deep taste in your mouth, because vitriol will always taste bitter. It's a bitter, bitter root. And that's why no one does it. That's why most people will not do it. They will run from that shit like crazy. And when they run, they don't actually end up realizing what cave they run into. The giant has run into a cave that insists that Christian morals, as dictated by sort of a conglomeration of Bible plus Charlton Heston movies plus the highlights magazine you read at the dentist's office, are now the arbiters of truth. And that as long as we remember what's in all those books, as long as we fear those things as we're supposed to, that we will be led to the path of God. That God will be waiting for us and say, you were afraid at just the right moments. I'm so proud of you. Good job being afraid. But some of us have noticed that's kind of pussy. That's kind of like the opposite of being a man, isn't it? That would be the antithesis of Prometheus. To run from torches is to fear torches. To fear torches is literally to fear the self. I would like to remind you all that the very first time we met Prometheus, we were wandering through the forest. That's right, we were wandering through the forest, and it was dark then. We didn't have fire. We didn't have electricity. We were desperate to survive. We wanted warmth. We wanted comfort, but we didn't have it until we found fire. And how did we find fire? It's easy. We took a stick in the ground and stuck it there. And then we took another stick in the ground and we rubbed it across the first stick. And what did we do? We formed a cross. We formed a cross. That's what we did. We took that cross, we struck it in the ground, and we burned it. We believed and believed and believed and believed and believed that vitriol between these two sticks, between the horizontal and the vertical, would give us spark. And spark would give us fire, and fire would give us warmth, and warmth would give us life, and life would give us love. So why do we hate fire? Why do we fear something that we've already learned to understand, learned to rely on? Why is it that the primary cross is evil, but the advanced cross is good? Why is it that the first cross that gave you fire is the birth of all sin and evil, but the moment we take an innocent man and string him up and nail him to that same cross, now we are good? In fact, if we worship the nailed man on the cross, all of you are zealots now. You are all zeal. You have zeal for the Lord. You live in fear. You follow his every commandment to the letter. That's not fire, is it? That's the fear of fire. But for some reason, they're both around the cross. Prometheus is a cross. Fire is a living cross. And what are you? What is your spine but one stick in the ground? What are your arms but a parallel stick or a perpendicular stick? What do your bones feel every day of your life but vitriol? Now, we can live our lives depending we shouldn't have vitriol. We can create an air-conditioned comfort zone where morality is handed to you like a fortune cookie every fucking Sunday. We can pretend that morality is the zeitgeist, and as long as everyone isn't offended, we have done what is good and moral. And we see where that gets us, doesn't it? It gets you dick cutting. It gets you vaccines. It gets you World War I. It gets you Civil War. It gets you World War II. It gets you all the regurgitation you go through in school. It gets your kids wearing masks this fall. It gets you into Pizzagate. Oh, Pizzagate's so real. It gets you into all this QAnon bullshit. It gets you into these zealous clubs where you've decided that one man is in charge, that one idea is in charge, that one concept could only be the true one. What we have here is a cannibalism of morality. We've decided that morality exists nowhere except in the zeitgeist. We've decided that morality itself is too holy for man. It's so holy that morality itself is outside of the body. It's a platonic realm, and only those who have the words that are sexy enough can tell you about it. That's what happens when you pull your morality from outside your body. Let me tell you here right now, true morality is when you're alone. When you're alone and the entire world tells you how wrong you are. When you're alone and giants are shaking their fists and throwing thunderbolts at you saying, God, curse that evil man. He has a picture of an owl on Instagram. And you find yourself in that loneliness. And you look up at the giant yelling you and you realize this giant is the same giant as when Amazing Polly was doing it. In fact, I could say Owen Benjamin is probably an amazing Polly with a dick right now, and I would be accurate. But I'm not here to tell you that he's wrong. I'm here to tell you that you were right. I'm here to tell you that the vitriol that Owen's been throwing me every day is beautiful. I welcome it. Owen, bring it. Thank you so much, Owen, for promoting me all you did. Thank you for telling everyone that you alone are responsible for my greatness, as far as like what you call greatness. It's weird to hear you tell me how popular I am, but then also tell me how destroyed and small I am. I love this vitriol because I know in my heart the vitriol that I feel every day when I hear what Owen said about me is the exact same vitriol that Owen feels when he walks through his chickens at night and thinks about me, or when he walks into his home, when he reads another letter from someone or he sees another note on his comment. That vitriol that he feels is real. That's true grit. That's true grit. That is dirt and the spaghetti sauce. And I fucking love that Owen and I are on this journey together. And I welcome you all to join us. Please, bring it. Bring whatever you need. Tell me how wrong I am to suggest that I have a moral compass inside me. Tell me how arrogant and irresponsible it is to try and listen to that compass. It is hilarious to see from my perspective. Because you see, we're on two shores here. We're on two different shores, aren't we? One of us is on an island, and we're trapped. And we're waiting for signs. We're waiting for cloud signs. We're waiting for a plane to buzz over, telling us what's moral. And if only we'd see that plane, then we can argue with each other over what that plane told us to do. Let me ask you something. Can you tell me where in the Bible it tells you that you should abandon yourself to the Bible for morality? Can you find a verse? Can you find a verse where it tells you how evil the heart is? I've asked on Twitter, and I've gotten some answers. Here's one from El Scorcho. But he is a Jew who is one inwardly, and circumcision is that which is of the heart, by the Spirit, not by the letter. And his praise is not from men, but from God. Romans 2. The exact same book that told you how godly it was to pay taxes. And I think that your morality, if you're hanging it on Romans 2, I think that's a way to go. But I ask you how you're supposed to truly know. I ask you that when you're in the pit of life itself, when you were all alone, when you were surrounded by 80 people around you that tells you that vaccines is moral, that tells you that the government, the very same thing that Romans told you to listen to render to Caesar, when they tell you what is moral, but you know it's immoral, is that not turning away from God also? Is that not turning away from Romans 13, which tells you to obey your government? I find it hypocritical to hear people tell me that they get morality from the Bible and from nowhere else. I find that hypocritical because of all the stories I see where Jephthah says, "Let us go to this well and murder all 30 women and children who dare to pull water from it. Come, let me show my zeal for the Lord." That's a direct quote from the Bible, where it shows you that those who follow the Lord are ones who are willing to kill and slaughter innocent people in his name. It shows you what morality is, doesn't it? Morality, according to the Bible, is what works. It's what accomplishes a goal. It's what accomplishes the Lord's goal. And so all of you have decided that your morality is the Lord's goal. You've decided that all the stories in the Bible are simply here to encode morality for you, and that they are your golden compass. And that if you were to look inside yourself for anything modern, for anything that's not mentioned there, that what you're doing is truly abandoning God. And that's really what the fight is, I think, between Owen and I. Owen believes in exoteric morality. He believes that someone outside of himself needs to tell him what moral is. He's under the impression that it's God that speaks to him, but he's yet to admit how or why this instrument happens. He can't tell you that because he's never thought. about it. Why has he never thought about it? Because he runs his morality on fear. And that's a good way to lead a child, with fear. Fear the stove. Fear the road that you cross. Fear the rope swing. Fear the high dive. Fear everything is how a parent controls a child. But as that child grows up, the child learns that the road is not something to be feared. In fact, the road leads him to places he's never seen before. The child learns that the rope swing is not something to be feared, but something to feel the swish and sway of gravity and God's game as you hurl yourself into the water. These things that we've been taught to fear, they're epigenetic, aren't they? They're harmonic. As we grow as a child, we learn to not fear things that we were told to fear. And as we grow as a man, we learn to fear things we've been told. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. And as a man, we're told to not fear things as we grow. We come into the light, and that light is not outside of us, my friends. That light is inside. We learn to harness and build and stoke that first fire which is your crucible, the very heart of you, the very essence of who you are. Now, you're going to find a lot of verses in the Bible which tell you how evil the heart is too. And I ask you, is that what you truly believe? Do you truly believe that your heart is evil? That the heart itself is the crucible of evil? I think most of you probably might say, yeah, it is. I was told that. Most of you have been told, no, you need to evacuate from that heart, James. That's how you get moral, is you circumcise your heart, right? Some of you say that, no, God never wanted you to circumcise your penis. He always meant heart. He always meant that. We tell ourselves whatever it takes to get us through the day, don't we? I mean, seriously. The amount of times that we have to justify things that the Lord has done in the Old Testament is profound. It's astounding. But we do it anyway. We do it because we're afraid. We do it because we're a child in a man's body, and we're not willing to stand tall. We're not willing to do what we had to do a long time ago and make that fire. We're not willing to even form the cross inside of ourselves. And that cross is already there, right? The bones are already there. They're already in the position, waiting for Prometheus rising. This has been the vitriol for me, and I'm tripling, quadrupling down. As I lose subscribers, I would like to give a shout out and say thank you to those who stayed. We've survived these attacks with glowing residuals. In fact, if all of my audience did come from Owen, it's amazing how many are still there. It's quite impressive, in fact. I would say it's a testament to what we're talking about, that we can still love Owen and still understand that he's wrong about something. I know I can. I know that as I'm getting reports of all that's coming in, all it does is feed me. All it does right now is feed me. It's amazing, and I wouldn't have been able to say that a year ago. This apocalypse has been just freaking beautiful for me, and it's been hard. And it's that hardness that makes it so important, that makes it so real, that makes it so viable. There's a viability in vitriol. There's an opportunity. It's a spark. It's fuel is what it is. And I welcome it. I embrace it. The things that have happened to me the last 2 weeks, I could have spiraled out so many times. I could have lost it all. I could have gutted myself, right, like an energetic horse, and just stabbed myself right in the gut. Just let it all spew out and lose all my responsibility and say, oh, I'm not in charge of my morality. Oh, I'm not in charge. Therefore, I can treat people like shit. As long as I just say, I'm trying, Lord, I'm trying, it'll be fine. Because morality's not found in the heart. I've abandoned it. I've decided it's too evil to trust. And that's why when you're alone, you'll always fail. You'll always fail. Find yourself alone, my friends. Get that way as much as you can. I'm not asking you to go seek solitude. I'm saying find those opportunities where you're going to say something that's going to cast you as being alone. When you do this, and when you have the right mindset to it, you transmute fear. It's beautiful. Man transmutes fear into power. Woman transmutes power into life. And this is a beautiful combination. And I encourage all you men to do that. I think that's why women have abandoned men. They've watched them abandon their own heart. Women have seen man abandon their own heart. And when they do that, women cannot stand next to that. There's no stability. There's no mountain. There's no pole. And women need that pole. They do. And they get it from man. That's how God made it. God made it that way. Which means, man, you're supposed to be completely portable. You're supposed to be a system that moves itself without an external guidance. You're supposed to be a system that's built on an internal compass. Because when it's dark and no one's around, is a woman really going to be able to rely on a child for help? Is she going to truly be able to rely on someone who's so afraid of themselves that they reject their own moral compass? All of this is vitriol, man. All of this. You got to find these spots. I've been finding them lately and hunting them down and purposely running onto them and jumping on top of them like a wild fucking bull, saying, I got you, vitriol, I got you. And that vitriol, man, it runs me into the walls, it runs me off of cliffs, it stabs me with its horns. And because I have this different approach to it now, because I have this different attitude now, all I see is alchemy. All I see is opportunities to spiral up and to go even further. Like this guy. He's like, I've got the vitriol, I will steal that nut. Is he evil? Or did he grab Prometheus's fire just then, in front of all of our live streamers? Guys, grab fire. Women they're begging for it. They want to see you hold your fire. They want to see you hold your torch. They want to see you brandish it like we did so long ago when we brought fire home. I'd like you to picture yourself a caveman now, man. I'd like you to picture yourself bringing fire to your cave for the very first time. I'd like you to picture the prana pouring into you from everyone else in the tribe who noticed there's a man who holds his own fire. There's a man who's learned how to harness his own morality. And what do you know? It gives off warmth. It gives off light. It keeps us protected. It keeps the evil animals away. It allows us to cook and sanitize our food. It allows us to survive the winter. How is survival evil? How is learning to succumb and make it through the winter evil? How is taking a peanut that was laid out for him from someone who's above his understanding and aperture evil? Am I calling that squirrel evil for taking that peanut? Am I accusing him of butt sex for taking that peanut? Am I begging you to give me money to start a camp where only people who reject their internal fire can come? No. No, I'm not. I'm going to campfires all around that have nothing to do with me. And I'm sitting in on them and I'm offering my prana and I'm saying, men, grab your fire, pick up that torch, find your inner light. Women need that right now. They do. They do. We each have our own roles. We each have our own roles. And too many times I've seen women have to try and pick up that torch. And when a woman carries that torch, all it does is burn her. It's not her kind of power. Trust me, women have more power than men. They do. But it's not that kind of power. Only a man can grab that torch and bring it home. Once it's home, watch what woman does with it. You watch what a woman does with that. Like I said, man is here. He is here to grab that flame. Woman is here to harness it. Salt and oil, my friends. Salt and oil. It could not get easier than this. It could not. It could not. I posted on Instagram a photo of the words moon owl. It was, I found it interesting. I met some patrons last night in a restaurant. We had a great time. And while we were there, we were paying the tab, and written on the bar was the words moon owl. And you were getting close, buddy. Yeah, good job. And I posted that post on Moon Owl, and instantly some bears came in and were just like, "You're evil. You like owls. You're evil." And it what is the symbolism of an owl? Wisdom from the dark. What is the archetype of the owl? Fucking apex predator, right? Where do we get the image of gnosis? Where do we get the image of wisdom? Where do we get the image of discernment, alchemy, of self-reliance, of all the things that you get from this archetype? Yet there's this whole group that sees an owl and thinks it means butt sex. There's this whole group that sees a planet called Venus and think butt sex. There's a whole group that sees anyone who's questioning, who's searching, who's looking, who's hungry, and they say butt sex. Is that really any way to live your life? Is this truly the path to find discernment? I welcome this vitriol. I hope that Owen keeps going off. I hope he keeps screaming at the sky. I hope that his fear of thunder and lightning transmutes him in such a big way that we can all learn from that exposure. The same way he fought Flat Earth, the same way he will fight everything else in life. What I love about Owen is that you're going to get an authentic man struggling with authentic issues. And all the jokes, all the cut downs, all the bullshit obfuscation shows you that authenticity. It shows you that seething anger as it's dripping from his teeth as being the true quest for vitriol. It's weird that we fear vitriol, yet we cling to it. We run towards it. We don't know it. We don't even know it. Owen has entered into a relationship with me in this. He has climbed into the ring with fucking James True and says, "I will fucking alchemize you." And here we are, alchemizing it. Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. Let's make this fucking real. All right? If you watch Owen, I want you to keep watching Owen. I want you to watch him closely. I want you to give him your witness. I want you to realize what an important role he's serving right now. That witness that you give him right now is symbolic of what so many are going through. So many, they don't even have their own name. They don't have their own identity. They've lost themselves and are looking for it outside themselves. And that search is all part of the vitriol. We have to be wrong. I misjudge people all the time. I misjudge ideas all the time. All right? This isn't something where one of us is right or wrong. This is showing you the journey. It's showing you a journey that I just happen to have been on before Owen, that's all. I'm older than Owen. I should know more than he should. I physically just have more experience than he does, that's all. It's not about I know everything more than he does. Owen definitely has some gifts to bring. It's sad that he has installed so much of my language and then is uninstalling it. But that shows you his tendency to install things that he maybe hasn't given enough thought to, that he maybe hasn't spent enough discernment on, that he maybe doesn't have a light bright enough inside of himself so that he can read the writing on the wall of the new information. And I have this too. Benjamin Balderson, if you're watching, I'd like to thank you for your conversation with me this morning. Benjamin has seen a primal truth in James True for 2 months now, and he's been like, "James, don't fucking do that, okay, guy? Listen up. You're going to fuck up, man. You don't want to do that." Benjamin doesn't actually have that accent. It's my closest proximity. And because Benjamin loves me, he doesn't say, "I'm going to fucking cut you off." He doesn't say, "Stop listening to James." He doesn't say, "That fucking James is a butt sexer," or whatever the kind of bullshit he has. What Benjamin does is be a true friend. He remains in that pocket. And he says, "I got your back, bro. I got your back because I trust you, James." Benjamin trusted James to find his own internal light. And that's really what we need. We need to trust each other. We need to tell each other by looking at each other in the eyes. It doesn't take words. We need to look at each other in the eyes and feel and send the idea, "Hey man, your crucible, that giant furnace in your chest, the thing that's kept you alive this whole time, the thing that's gotten you through every single piece of vitriol in your life, the thing that's led you to where you are right now, I trust that in you. I would like for you to keep using that guidance. I would like for you to put more faith in your own compass, because the more deep-seated you are, the less you will hurt other people. The evacuated person will hurt everyone around them, and the reason why is because they don't have empathy to understand the pain that they may be causing. Why do they not have empathy? Because they're not in their cockpit listening to the gauges. Your human cockpit has so many gauges that deal with empathy, it's insane. Your main heads-up display is empathy. 96% of your brain lights up during facial recognition, Your entire system is an empathy system. Do you truly believe that with all that empathy, morality shouldn't come from you? That morality should somehow come from outside yourself? Because if so, why the fuck were you given all this equipment? Like seriously, if you were supposed to inject your morality from something else, as simple as a book maybe, that's been translated at least 8 times, why do you have all this equipment? What's the purpose? What's the purpose of having the ability to reason, simulate, and think about other people's feelings? Why would you have all those calories if you were not the arbiter of morality? As I've said before, everything in the world, in nature, produces something. Something. Diamonds, fruit, vegetables, children, dirt, right? Dung. Everything produces something. Man is no different. Man produces morality. Man produces reputation. Man produces pride. Man produces government. Man produces education. Man produces wisdom. Man produces passion. Man produces beauty. Man produces art. Man produces intimacy. Man produces community, tribe, nation, sovereignty, right? Man produces all of these things. Why would he not produce morality too? Why is man allowed to produce the most beautiful things in the world, but not morality? Why? I say unto you that morality is made in the dark when no one's looking. I say unto you that morality is forged in the deepest pits where no one is around, golf clapping for how virtuous you are. I would say to you that the most morality ever produced is under the rock-hard pressure of charcoal. It turns us into these diamonds, and we find clarity, don't we? We find clarity in vitriol. We find clarity in pressure. And that clarity, once it's understood, can never be cut, can it? The fact is, we both know. If we take my morality and carve a niche into Owen's, and take Owen's morality and carve a niche into mine, mine will leave a huge valley in Owen's, because he doesn't have his own. It comes from outside. It comes from zeitgeist, doesn't it? If your morality comes from the Bible, if it comes from zeitgeist, if it comes from God, where it really comes from is the collective thinking of God at the time. Because then it will be majority rule. As you gather on Sunday, you will notice, well, no, morality has to be universal. That's how morality works. See, it only works if it's universal. So if that's true, you're going to have to go out in the world and find your same morality in everything else you see. Which means you're literally going out taking fucking votes, people. You're literally going out saying, hi, I'd like your vote on morality, please. Here's my hypothetical situation. Stop. There's not a damn thing about this world that's hypothetical, is there? Nothing. You know what's hypothetical? Evacuation. When you evacuate yourself, you live in this world of hypothetical, don't you? You plan your entire day through the hypotheticals of it all. And you've decided in this magical hypothetical land that morality is another magical hypothetical land that you can go to too. And so you abandon yourself even further to try and get to that magic candy land called morality, where everyone agrees, where everyone recognizes it's the same thing. And I'm here to fucking tell you folks, when they ran a witch who was an herbalist, a fucking herbalist through a village, tied up and set afire in the center of that town square, every single one of those fuckers called themselves moral. They called themselves pious. They called themselves following God. And at the very front of that was a torch bearer. Someone who's afraid of Prometheus would literally bear a torch through town saying, "Grab a tiki torch, boys. It's time to burn an herbalist." And that is fucking universal morality. And that is why we're so fucked up, because we don't trust ourselves. We have not put ourselves inside our cockpit. In fact, we're arguing that we should leave. And we're demanding that each of us spit at the person who tries to stay inside. Owen wants it expensive for you to grab that torch. And good. I want it expensive too. You know why? Because the fuckers of you who dare, excuse my language, the ones of you who dare to grab that torch are my tribe. You are my brother. And as long as you hold your fingers to that torch, no matter how much it burns, as long as you hold that thing high, no matter how low you feel, I know that when the shit hits the fan, and when everything's dark, and when everyone is up against you, I want you in my trench, not Owen. Because I want someone who believes in themselves and trusts their own fire. And hey, Owen would be fun to have, wouldn't he? He'd tell all kinds of jokes. It'd be hilarious. But you can't trust that. How do you know you can't trust that? Listen to last night's live stream. Listen to the day before. Listen to the day before. Listen to the day before. And listen to the day before. And then go back 1 month and listen. Listen to all the language coming out of Owen. Listen to all the times where he said how this is a new understanding for him. How compassion is deeper now for him. And ask yourself, is this truly a moral decision? Is this truly something that comes from morality? Or is this fear? Is this a fear of Prometheus, of a luminary called Venus, of a passage in the Bible that literally tells you, I am the root of David. I am the bright morning star. I am Jesus. What's it going to be, guys? Pick. And you don't have to start watching one or the other, right? It doesn't work that way, does it? Now, I don't even feel like I have to tell you guys this. You already know it. Heart good. Zeitgeist bad. Heart good. Zeitgeist bad. I got a great note today about compassion. It's like, James, man, dude, I get how compassion is not consent. But what the fuck is it? What is compassion, James? What is it? And I'd like to answer that. It's good water. Compassion is a byproduct of empathy. Empathy is a byproduct of simulation. The Hopi prophecy said that a new people will be born in this world. These people will have a new sense, a new sense about them. They will be able to sense things that people before that have not seen. And I'm here to tell you that that new sense is empathy. And it takes thousands of years. It takes epochs for compassion to even bud inside a person. It took so long that Lord Technology kept compassion out of the Old Testament entirely. It wasn't time for that seed yet. They needed something before that seed. They needed obedience. Because when you're teaching a child, the first thing you need is obedience. You don't start with a 4-year-old telling them all about compassion. You begin with obedience. After the obedience is set, you can start to work. You can begin to work on the vitriol. Because now you have someone that no matter how much vitriol is there, they're still obedient to you. This is what a teacher does to a student. This is what a sensei does to a class. This is what Lord Technology does to its children. This is what a shepherd does to its sheep. So you start with obedience, and then you enter the New Testament level and you start to lay on that compassion. And it shows you these are 2 steps. It shows you that. It shows you what the 3rd step is, doesn't it? It's a natural progression. And that natural progression is only going to happen by you Owen's waiting for a book to be written by Jesus to come again that will then say, hey, Owen, will you please start using your fucking heart? Will you please start discerning the world around you and call things moral or not? Owen's answer is no. No, I can't do that. I need someone to come here first. I need Jesus to come again. We need to crucify him. And before he dies, he needs to tell me, Owen, you're allowed to get compassion from your heart. And that's not going to happen. It shouldn't have happened the first time. We should not be celebrating that happening. Nor should we be living our lives as if we owe an eternal blood debt to continuously doubt ourselves for eternity because that happened. This next step is not for everyone. This next step is only for those who have the courage to embrace the vitriol of it. And Owen is here right now to make that vitriol as palpable as possible. And he's serving a good purpose. We all are. These are all good things. I want it to be hard to grab that fire. I want you to know that if you grab that fire, the rest of your life for eternity, man, meaning Owen, will chain you to a rock, and an eagle will come and pull your spleen out every morning. That's what Owen wants you to believe. That's what the zeitgeist wants you to believe. That's why the story of Prometheus ends that way. And this is why this third step is not for everyone. Because only a few of you would look at that offering by Owen to say, if you want that torch, here's what I'm going to do. Only a few of you join me in saying, yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I'll take it. That light's worth it to me. I will bring that light to my family. I will take that light. I will make anew with it. And Owen, you can pull my spleen out every day if you want. But I love myself more. I love my crucible more. I have faith in my own horse more than I have faith in your threats of what you'll do with me for daring to take that torch. This vitriol is perfect, guys. I wouldn't change a thing. And this is why I've always tried to tell you about fear. It's exactly why. I've always tried to tell you about fear in this same way because I want you to amalgamate what that is. Because before fear is fear, it's power. Right before fear becomes fear, it's actually power. But we don't have the language for that. We don't have a word in our language for, hey, what is fear right before it's fear? There's not even a fucking word for that. And so when I tell you that, squirters have to say, oh, he's changing language. Oh, that's so evil. He's clearly an evil someone. And those same people, they want your spleen ripped out, buddy, every day. Those same people want you chained to a fucking rock with them because they like that chain. They love that chain. That chain means they have zero responsibility. That chain means when they die in the same place they were born, they can say, see, I was chained here this whole time. Oh, I can't get it out. Oh. And when you show up, only when you show up to God, only when you show up to the biggest witness ever. Guys, if you think kids hold witness over you when they see you, wait till you fucking see God. Holy smokes. That guy is a witness. And he will look at me and he will say, James, you dared to grab that torch. And I will say, yes, God, I did. I took every faculty you gave me. I thought as hard as I could. I felt as hard as I could. I questioned as hard as I could. I rubbed every stick I could find up against every other stick I could find, God. And I found your light. And here's what I think it is. This is my fire that I think is you. And if you want to pull my spleen out for bringing this to you for the rest of life, if you want Owen down there to chain me to a rock and call me homosexual and tell anyone who dares to have this rock is secretly a homosexual too, I will say to you, yeah, I still think this is my fire. I still think this is you, God. I made this for you. I brought this back to you because I think it's the closest thing I could find to your light on this world. I look forward to that witness. I look forward to the punishment that I deserve. I look forward to paying back all the wrongs I've done to each of you. I've wronged some of you. I want to pay for that. I sleep in the clarity of my heart now. I have so much love for who I am, where I'm going, and what I'm doing, that even when a fucking giant with 20 times the traffic as I do, who's able to raise $200,000 in weeks for his own personal private Idaho, that even under his digs, all I do is stand taller. All I do is feel we are fucking gonna make this, guys. We are bringing this to fruition. And even Owen will be there in the end. Even he will be there in the end. I fucking guarantee it. I guarantee it. Owen will see this truth eventually. He needs this vitriol. Just like I needed his vitriol. Just like you guys needed to watch this vitriol. Guys, this is all good. Find the vitriol in your life right now. Take a moment. Think about the most vitriol thing that's happening in your life. If you don't know what vitriol means, guys, it's just like strife, okay? Just think of it as strife. You'll look up that word in the dictionary and you might see hate or anger. Go back. Look up vitriol and alchemy. You'll understand why vitriol means strife. And I'd like you to amalgamate that strife with me. I'd like you to transmute that strife with me. I'd like you to alchemize that strife with me and say thank you. When I run hills in the morning, I have strife. When I struggle because I hear Owens called me a new name, I have strife. When I see people abandoning my subscriptions or telling me that they can no longer support me, I welcome that strife. All of these things are turning you into a fucking diamond. Let them. Let them. That clarity is unstoppable. And no matter what someone brings to try and scratch into your diamond, it will never happen. Because you accepted that strife. Because you accepted that vitriol. Man, embrace it. Embrace it. I will give Owen a huge hug one day. I don't know when that'll happen. But it will happen. And I will mean it. I will fucking mean it. I love that guy. I laugh all the time at some of the things he says. I can't laugh at things he says about me because it hurts too much. Owen gaslit me. He told me how great I was, how amazing I was, how fabulous I was, how he wanted to do this with me and that with me. He took this idea of a campground and adopted it for his own. It's how could I not love someone like that? To hear Owen say language that comes directly out of me makes me feel proud. It makes me feel resonant, right? I don't even look at Owen in that way. If he's saying something to me, people say, Owen's stealing your stuff. I'm like, no, he's not. He's resonating. Owen is resonating my stuff, and that is beautiful. I will hug Owen Benjamin one day. I know I will. It won't be now. It won't be now. And until then, I can't watch his shit. I'll just listen to you guys tell me what he says. It's just as fine. That's how much I care about me. Because I can't be with a gaslighter like that. I can't be with someone who tells me how wonderful I am for this many months and then pulls the cord. That's what gaslighters do. That's what people who are not in their heart do. Owen doesn't have the empathy to understand that right now because he doesn't think morality comes from his heart. And that truly is what compassion is all about. Compassion is the direct reflection of how much prana you have in your heart. Here's how it works. It works through calories. It works through energetic calories. You pull energetic calories every day, your heart's beating. That's how it's beating, guys. You think it's this. But man, your heart is... And every time it does that, the ether feels where it stops and comes back in. And it forms this bubble. This powerful bubble of ego is all around. It's the most powerful force in the world. That's why everyone wants you to hate your fucking ego. And you take that ego, that and you do something with it. Most of us are taught to gut it. We take a knife and we slit it. And we watch that ego drain. And as that draining happens, it starts to pant. And now your heart's panting. It's like a fucking dog. Your heart's panting now. Because you shit on your ego all day long. Now the women that used to see this are fucking seeing this. And they're like, I don't want a man. I want comfort. I don't want man. I want stability. I don't want man. I want someone I can roll over. Right? Because they're seeing this. They're seeing that ball gag in a guy's mouth who rejects their sovereignty. It's like he's wearing a ball gag, saying, oh, morality. And guys, you got to change it, man. Fucking take it off. Let the vitriol sear inside you enough to where you realize you just can't take it anymore. Where you got to pull it off you. You got to start over. Find that. No one will be there clapping you on. I might be, but I'm not irregular. Find that. You will see that change happen instantly. In fact, the first time you see that happen, you're going to get a shitload of vitriol. Why? Because people are used to you doing this. Squeak, 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 squeak. They love that shit. And when you get into that, their primal limbic brain says you are not a threat because there's no novelty to you, because you keep doing the same. But if you've been doing this for years, I guarantee you, just like it happened in my life, the moment you start going, boom, holy shit, boom, and you're like, holy shit, I can do that twice. And you're like, can I do that 3 times? Boom, and you're like, holy fuck, boom, boom, boom. The moment you do that, everyone around you's like, fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. That guy's dangerous. And that's your limbic system saying, novelty alert, something's different. This guy who used to be normal, who would sit in his cubicle, he's now going boom, boom, boom with his heart. I don't like it. And another system comes in. We should accuse him of having secret butt sex anytime he wants to go camping. And then another one's like, yeah, and we should fucking curse stars in the sky. All the stars want you to have butt sex. And you end up with the zeitgeist attack over novelty. These people are attacking your novelty. They're not even attacking that you have a big heart yet. They don't see big hearts because they cannot see through their second attention yet. They do not have the calories for their second attention. Your first attention, you know. All of you guys know your first attention. It's your second attention that most of us don't have yet. And that second attention is empathy. That second attention is saying, oh man, this person's hurting. This person whose every single thing he sees is a projection of butt sex is hurting. Why? Why would he be hurting so much by that? And then you take your empathy and you start to pour it into him. You're pouring into him. You're giving all that boom, 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 because you accept it. Because you don't cast it off and gut it, right? Because you're like, I want this. This heart, God fucking gave me this heart. I want this. So you own it now. And when you own it, you have all these extra calories. You can extend all these calories wherever you want. You can pour them into Owen. And you can say, why? Why has this man rejected his heart? Why does he hate his own heart so much that he has to put the tinge of butt sex around anyone who might like their own? And it gives you more compassion. You're able to pour more into it, and you're able to see because of abandonment. Owen is no different than any of us. He's been abandoned. He was abandoned by someone who rejected their own heart. And Owen sees that now, and he's not able to, he will get it. All of us will get it. I know all of us will get it because it's why we're here. We are here to get this. And it's only going to be through embracing the vitriol. Find this. Boom, boom. Let it scare you for a few days. Like, seriously, let it just really, really feel awful all the time. Like, God, this heart's beating so much. I can't even handle my cubicle, James. And I'm going to look at you in the eye and I'm going to like, it's working. It's working. That's why you don't like your cubicles, because it's working. Keep doing that. You're not supposed to like your cubicle. You're not supposed to like a cage. You're not supposed to like what they're telling you to like right now. Your empathy is your second attention. And you can walk up to a stranger with your empathy and see right through them. You can stare right into their chest and see a gaping hole. That gaping hole is going to either be here in their solar plexus or it's going to be here. I think it's called Svadhisthana. I'm probably wrong. Prove my lips. You're going to find that that hole is going to be in one of their chakras. And I know you hate chakras. I get it. But it's part of your second attention. Your second attention is subtle energy, guys. That's all it is. That's why compassion is second attention. You're going to see where someone is suffering by looking at their emotions around certain ideas. What is the emotion of Lucifer for Owen Benjamin? What is the emotion of Prometheus for Owen Benjamin? What is the emotion of Venus for Owen Benjamin? What is the emotion of being in charge of your own morality and being held responsible for your own moral decisions? What is that? You will see it clearly. And you'll see it clearly in everyone you interact with. Why? Because you have more calories. You simply learn to harness your heart. You will open a gate between you and the next person. And when it opens, that means they wanted to open it too. That's most of us who are evacuated, we're open. That's why it's so easy to show someone who's evacuated compassion, because they're already open for it. The problem is they're open, but they're not there. And what you have to do is while Owen's gone, while Owen's outside of his heart, I have to keep putting flowers in his heart. I have to keep doing it. And he will see those flowers and go, "Ugh, that place looks good. I will go back inside there." And he will climb back into his fucking heart. And he will say, if someone else thinks I should be here, and I get my morality from what other people tell me, maybe I should listen to this. And you'll begin. You'll set a home. You'll start to notice that the reason why there's a chasm here is because it's waiting for you. And when you get in there, people who you used to call friends will fucking hate you because you're no longer novel. You've pushed some buttons that they don't want to be pushed. They are not embracing vitriol, are they? They're afraid of vitriol. They fear it. And that's why they have a camp that's going to have a requirement. You must have this cosmology. You must have this morality center, where it comes from. You must have this origin about what is ethical. You must call everything that doesn't fit in butt sex. And those are the rules. Owen will change those rules because Owen doesn't have bad rules. He will eventually learn to see and say, that's the stupidest shit I've ever come up with. He will make a live stream about it and he will grow. And that's why you love Owen. That's why I love Owen. Because all of us are human. All of us are authentic. All of us are here to grow. I can't think of an enemy I have right now. And I got a death threat 2 days ago. I can't think of an enemy I have. Even the death threats, like, this is fucking awesome. It's vitriol. And I want it. Guys, I'm not afraid of dying anymore. I'm afraid of not living. I'm afraid of not being engaged at every moment I have. I'm afraid of not giving my true witness to every single opportunity I can. How can we open our heart like this, Kevin? I just told you. Thanks for the super chat. But Kevin, while you were working on giving me that super chat, you didn't hear what I said. You want vitriol. When you start to see vitriol as a gift, your heart will open. You're giving your heart more things to do, aren't you? You're giving it weight. You're giving it weight. Someone is pushing on your heart and you're like, hey, that feels kind of pressure. This is like a good workout for me. Thanks, vitriol. And you will start saying that word. 4 days ago, I went to buy a plant that I'm not allowed to buy because we live in fucking Babylon. I like this plant and I went to buy it from a guy. And that guy, when I went to buy it from him, was having the worst day of the world. And I went over to see him, and he's on my Facebook. He doesn't watch my live stream. So I don't even know why he was able to forget how I feel about masks. Most of you know how I feel about masks. I think Owen's wearing a mask, in fact, symbolically here. You're believing this idea, so you're covering your face in shame. And my friend, who I wanted to buy that plant from, when I walked in, he was just like, James, I'm just so upset. And I was like, what is it? What is it, Scott? And he started to tell me. And out of the second word out was, these people that don't wear masks. I can't believe how selfish they are. I can't believe how shitty they are, how awful they are. I'm truly afraid of dying. My aunt's sick. She's this, there's that, there's that. And what I saw pouring out of Scott was someone who wanted a witness. And even though I directly disagree with Scott on literally everything he thinks about masks, I said, thank you, Vitriol. And I applied myself as the greatest witness I could find. I poured myself into listening to that guy. I listened to everything he said, all of his points about it, right? About how terrible people like me were. He was talking about people like me. And I didn't pull that card. I had a strong enough heart. I had a strong enough heart where I could listen to someone call me by association these names and just give him witness. Just keep giving him witness. And even as he was saying it, in my mind, I was saying, I'm listening, Scott. I'm listening. And it was so powerful. He said in a text message later, thank you so much for listening to me. Having vented, I feel so much better. Don't feel quite so violated. I'm happy to call you my friend. This is like, he's at the heart of the other end of this issue. But I had enough ego. I had enough calories that I could truly give that man compassion and give him witness. Compassion is witness. That's all it is. It's liquid, etheric witness. And you can give someone witness without agreeing with them, without consenting to them, without even liking them. I can't give Owen my witness right now. I can't watch his live streams. If he and I were to have a conversation together, I could do that because that's more fair, right? That's not like a one-sided thing. But we can give witness to people as much as we can or as little as we can. Not all of us can do it. I can't do it to everybody. I have more work to do, don't I? The fact that I can't watch Owen's live stream shows me that I have more work to do. The fact that I can't subject myself to that means I have more work to do. And I welcome that. I'm not going to be watching a stream, by the way. But I welcome that. I'm welcome to see that flaw. I'm welcome to see that weakness in me. And even though I have that weakness because I'm welcome to see it, what happens? My heart doesn't stop. It doesn't go, oh, well, since you have weakness, fuck that. Because I'm seated. I am seated in my cockpit. And the reason why people like me, the reason why people gravitate to me, the reason why people subscribe to me is not because fucking Owen Benjamin said, go watch James True. It's because when you turn on James True, you get authentic. That's all you get. Or at least as much as you can. Sometimes I'm not as authentic as I should be. Those are the times later when I'm like, oh, I can't believe I said that. Or I can't believe I didn't say that. It's my show, Bana. I'm not sure why you would have any questions about that. I'm going to put you in timeout. The fact that it's my show kind of shows, hey, today we're talking about Owen. Shouldn't be that hard, dude. This shouldn't be that hard to figure out. Guys, it's my show. That means that we get to talk about what I want to talk about. If you don't like it, go fuck off. It really doesn't matter. I am not sustaining myself on your subscriber count. When Owen pulls 1,000 subscribers from me, I'm still here. I'm still beating. It doesn't matter. This is the content we're talking about because this is where the vitriol is. I welcome the vitriol. Bring it. If you can't handle the vitriol, Benai, go away. Find something else to do. Seriously. This is all good stuff. I don't know how many times I've said that. I don't know how many times I've told you guys through all this that I will be hugging Owen one day. We are still friends. All this shit is coming out. I just look at it as a friend who's in pain, who's misguided. That's all. He's not even misguided. Shit. That's my fault. Prove my lips. He's not even misguided. He's authentic. I think it's great. Bring it. And guys, if you don't want me to talk about vitriol, why are you watching the fucking channel? I'm trying to think of an episode where we haven't discussed vitriol in some way, shape, or form. We just didn't use the word. It's It's like there's this idea that we got from the Bible that if everyone does what they're right, doing what they're right, everything's going to be great. We're going to go to this magical place where we get to fucking play harps all day and sing the praise of something. Just say, oh, I praise this thing over here. It's the greatest thing I ever saw. It's the eternal greatest thing I ever saw in the world. And you're thinking that that's what we all want. I don't want that. I think there are some people that want to herald for eternity, and I get that. That's never been like, hey, I would like to herald something for eternity. I know that God did not make me to do that. If he did, I would be heralding him for eternity. Eternity literally means from 49 years ago until forever now. All right? I'm not falling prey to zeitgeist bullshit. I'm not listening to people tell me, well, no, even though circumcision was really about cutting the dick off, truly what it means is to circumcise the heart. It's kind of both. So, to be safe, James, you should just cut the end of your dick off and circumcise your heart. That would truly be the holiest thing you could do. And I'm telling you, I'm not showing up to God with this limp fucking flame that doesn't even work, that's like hanging from my fingers, like fucking snot, and say, yeah, God, I found your flame. Here it is. I'm not doing that to God. I'm not showing up to God. I don't care what the fuck you say about me. I'm not showing up with that shit. I am not phoning this in. What I bring to God when I die is my best fucking try ever. Ever. You guys do what you need. Do what you think's best. Because I don't get my truth or morality from the zeitgeist. I get it from my compass. And that compass, as long as it's clean, as long as it works, is going to always guide me better than anything else. The moment we make it profitable to get back in your heart is the moment we become compassionate. And compassion, there's an airship for you right there. There's an airship. That's truly the biggest airship around. All right, guys. We got a busy week today. This week. Did Amanda text me back yet? Let's see. If so, I wanted to play you guys something. I just need to get a confirmation from her. Nope, not yet. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Every Saturday, Benjamin Balderson and I always do a show. If you hadn't caught that on yet, every Saturday we do it. Additionally, because of the thing that's coming up, this big event, the thing, all denominations are welcome, by the way. At our thing, you don't have to have a certain cosmology. You don't have to sodomize yourself or prove that you've got your dick cut or whatever. You could just come to the thing. We actually want different diversity. We want different cosmology. We would like all of you to come and embrace your own macaroni drawing of God. I say that because I believe that we are supposed to construct our cosmology out of construction paper, glue, and macaroni. I say that because when we bring this drawing to God, when we die and we bring our cosmology, it's like, look, God, I drew a picture of you while I was away at school today. While I was at Dojo Earth, I drew a picture of you, God. This is what I think you look like. And I call it a macaroni drawing because that's how God's going to see it. I don't have the depth of God. I'm a child of God. And he will see my cosmology. He will see that macaroni drawing. And he will understand that not one piece of macaroni was laid down in fear. That every single one came out of passion, discernment, and effort. And it doesn't matter if he laughs. God doesn't want you to get it right. He wants you to get it authentic. I'm going to end on that. Oh, I can't end on that. I never do this. You guys, buy my books. I finally have them in stock. All 4 books are in stock right now. And if you think my live streams are good, I'm telling you, you got to read my book. I'm not just saying that. I'm actually a writer. I'm not a live streamer. This whole live stream thing has just been an experiment. It's been fun. I'm going to keep doing it. But I'm telling you guys, I'm a freaking writer. And this stuff will change you. I just posted a link in YouTube. And here it comes in DLive. I would love it if you guys would consider one of these books. If you can't get all 4, please consider Blueprints of Mind Control. Please consider reading that first. If you like it, read Technology of Belief. It's going to show you how to use this prana It's going to show you how to find that boof, boof, boof. We rip apart all of the zeitgeist in those 2 books. We rip every single shred of it. And we leave you naked, standing in your own light, with a torch just out of reach, shining as clearly as can. And I can't make you grab it. You don't get it by reading the last chapter. What happens is you close that book and you go, And then it's all you, buddy. It's all you. So consider that. Consider that. No, they're not $400 for all 4, Johnny. Are you nuts? No, it's actually a really good price. It's $69 for all 4. But if you're out of U.S., I do have to charge you more for shipping. So get that. Try it out. All right. Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it. Looking forward to tomorrow. Thanks for giving me the day off yesterday. I really needed it. There's just so much around here. Plus the books came in. I got to get everybody caught up on orders and stuff. So thank you for being here, guys. Thank you for going through this vitriol for me. Thank you, those of you who have loyalty to Owen and me. I hope you understand. I think your loyalty to Owen's beautiful. I have it too. This is not about attacking Owen. This is about finding our vitriol when it's as plain as day and not shirking away from it. And I know deep down Owen wants that too. I know he does. I freaking know he does. All right, guys. Bless you all. Shout out to OKC Bear. Thanks for always being here, buddy. Every morning. Just boom. I really appreciate that. And